Good now, everybody, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. It's your place for helpful Web3 news, commentary, and answers to your crypto questions. My name is Evan, and if you're just seeing my face for the first time, then welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. On-chain is the new online. The technology that makes cryptocurrency possible is soon, and even now, going to make it possible for you to own what is yours, truly own what is yours, and experience the benefit of it online. It is an unprecedented opportunity on par with the invention of the internet, because this is the moment that the internet, the greatest invention of the 20th century, maybe all time, will be able to reach its full potential for everyday people, because it puts power back in your hands. We want to teach you what it is, how to get involved safely, securely, in the context of a community where we have a lot of fun. I'm going to be joined here by Alex Popovich, aka the DJ Khaled of Dogs, and another one. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much.
So who's your friend?
As Meatball, you met her.
It didn't look like Meatball. I thought Meatball had where's my picture? I had a picture of Meatball that actually was really cute because she kind of had her head behind your leg. I guess in my memory, Meatball, you have darker fur. Meatball's like, you don't even know me. What a sweetie.
Just Meatball.
Just Meatball. Just Meatball. I guess after about 6 or 7, though, honestly, they do blend together a little bit. It's just a signal that I need to spend more time with you.
That's true. That's true.
Alex, do you know, real quick, what is FunKit? Do you see this at the bottom of the live screen, or is that just for hosts?
Nope.
While you're joining us, let me say welcome to everybody who's joining the show. If you've got a crypto question, leave them below in the comments. We'll get into the news. We'll start unpacking different things across the space, but I have got to press this button.
See what happens.
Oh, it's just you know how they have that live show button where you like make people take turns for 5 minutes at a time, and also countdown for all. I don't know what countdown for all does. Like, do we die at the end if we don't get likes and shares? Select duration, 3-minute target, add point target. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this just for fun. I'm going to set a point target for me and Alex. Oh, hang on, I gotta. I don't know why. Alex and I love having contests. You absolutely don't have to send us a gift, though. I'm totally just playing with this feature. If you do want to send us some points that don't matter but do matter, tap the screen and let the algorithm know this is going to be helpful content. Share this with your friends who are learning about crypto, and we'll get going. Alex, I like that mug, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
From my mom.
Your mom's pretty great. I can't believe we got her on the show, and I'm so glad we did.
The briefest appearance.
The briefest but the best. The briefest, like the newsletter, the briefest best bits.
So, Evan, I have to start us off with one little tiny tidbit that is a momentous occasion that we can all experience together.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
There is a trending headline on CryptoPanic that is, bear with me, bearish for Cardano right now.
Oh my gosh, if you're just joining our show, then you know what he's talking about. Every day on CryptoPanic, we check because there's always at least one trending headline, bullish Cardano. What's it say?
It says, Cardano faces growth challenges as user base remains flat.
Is that really bearish, though? Growth challenges flat? That's very mild.
Compared to headlines like, is Cardano about to go to $4? Pro analyst weighs in, and it's like some Twitter shill that just says, to the moon, and that constitutes news. So in that sense, yes.
It sounds, but doesn't it sound like if you were hired to be the PR firm for Cardano and somebody was tuning into the Rise Up Morning Show every day and was like, guys, they're on to us. We need to write an article that sounds negative, but not bad.
Yeah.
That's like saying, Alex, you are too nice. You're too nice of a guy. He's too nice of a guy, and that's why.
It's the answer to the interview question. Sometimes I just work too hard.
Yeah, I just really love work. Yeah. I don't know.
Sometimes my attention to detail is just too focused.
I'm too professional. What can I say? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I am amazed that their user base is flat. I am surprised.
Are you really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it's not, there's not a higher level of attrition, frankly.
Come on, Evan, come on. You know flat is code for their leaving.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, honestly, though, flat is code for leaving. Like, even if it's literally flat, that means no new people are coming in, or so
if you're
few.
Not growing, you're dying.
Yeah, it's Multiverse X. When's the last time you saw a headline about a new project moving to Multiverse X?
I don't know, but I cleaned up my Telegram recently because, I get notifications for stuff. I hate Telegram. I thought maybe if I cleaned it up, I'd spend more time there. And the one group I left first was the Multiverse X Telegram group. The last message in there, and there are like 300 of them, was like the same message every day by the Multiverse X. It was like a shouting off a cliff into the void moment. And I said, bye.
I'm in a large Twitter group chat with a whole bunch of like industry like people who've been here for years. They like work in it. They're building games. They're, running shows. They're content creators. They're whatever. Lots of very dialed in people. We were shooting the shit yesterday. Not a single one had ever heard of Multiverse X or Elrond.
Is this your panel that you've been participating in?
No, this is it's currently called the Algorithm Restoration Project.
Oh, yeah. Is this the one that's organizing a town hall?
They're not organizing it. They're just a bunch of people who are sick of the, sycophantic crypto bro attitude that's not very attractive to new people. I don't even say mass adoption anymore. I say we need mass interest before there's mass adoption. And I mean, if the masses take a peek and it's a bunch of like really cringy frat boys yelling at each other, then that's not helpful. So this is a group that would like to just improve the quality of the conversation. But no, the town hall that Evan referenced, I'll let you guys know how it goes. But tonight I am going to tune into the Crypto for Harris town hall. It's she's not involved. It's basically a bunch of crypto industry leaders. There are other politicians that are going to be there, mostly Democrats that are like trying to get their party to change the tune.
Sure.
Which I say the same two things about every time I talk about it. One, I am a massive supporter of holding politicians accountable for their voting record. Like Democrats with shitty voting records against crypto helpful policies, especially good ones that like legitimately would have helped. That is, need to hold those people accountable. And if they can't get with the program, then vote them out, get rid of them. Replace them with people who are interested in keeping this, budding industry in the United States. And this group is like led by the smaller number of Democrats compared to Republicans that want to see crypto adoption helpfully done. And so they're trying to kind of make like a broader plea to the larger DNC party platform. And interestingly, the Harris campaign yesterday or the day before met with the Crypto Advisory Council, which is a rather large group also of industry professionals and leaders. And this is like not a couple crypto people from Twitter. This is like CEOs of major blockchains and companies like Brian Armstrong, like Danelle, the CEO of Stellar, other such names like that. They met with the Harris campaign, and that is a good little baby step. But I'm kind of in the camp of, all right, cool. Talking is a good first step. Let's see some action. I want to. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm worried about, Evan. I'm worried that I'm sure this worry is shared by lots of rationally minded people who know that we are in campaign season and politicians will say anything to get elected.
Yeah.
I don't want us to become a talking point that then doesn't get worked on during the administration. regardless of who gets in office. Because it's kind of weird, right? That like Trump during his town hall or his interview or whatever that was with Elon Musk on Twitter, it's weird they didn't mention crypto one single time. Not once.
That conversation was anomalistic, though, in a lot of ways. I think it was less a conversation and more like a, Elon was like walking. He was the personality hire, and Donald Trump was just rolling.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump is very difficult to interview, and Elon Musk is not an interviewer. That's not his job.
It was painful. It was painful.
It's painful, but, at the same time, and I love giving billionaires shit. It's not Elon Musk's job to be an interviewer. That's not a skill set that I would require of him to have. So I think it went as well as one could expect. But I just found it interesting that the two of them together, given the Trump campaign's, new talking point adoptions in the industry and Elon Musk's proximity to the industry, and his, admittedly checkered past with the industry, it was very interesting to me that they never once even mentioned it, let alone had a substantive conversation, but it didn't even come up.
Yeah, I would have expected it to have more prominence too.
Yeah, very strange. So I would assume at this point, if the Democrats came out like in favor of, I would assume that it was a campaign talking point. But I'm with Mike at this point. Just lie to me, and tell me that you'll do something helpful. I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't. The biggest thing that you can realize as like an American, or honestly as an outsider, just like watching a campaign, is that 90% of the promises that they make would require most of government to be behind it. And it's not something that a president can do. Like very rarely are the things that presidents say they'll do while in office doable by a president. Little tiny things, even little itty bitty things that seem like, oh yeah, easy peasy, firing Gary Gensler. Who doesn't want that to happen, right? Like pretty much all of us. He's disliked by Democrats and Republicans, and there's like very specific old dusty dinosaurs keeping him in his position right now. But you can't just fire the guy. It doesn't work like that, So like little things like that, we get lost in the nuance, but we'll see.
We will see, and I am hopeful that whoever it is, there's a lot of pandering happening, and there's a lot of opportunity to play catch up. But I'm really hopeful because there are a lot of people who are trying to tell a better story. Like I think I saw you might have mentioned it or somebody mentioned it. The town hall is called Crypto for Change or Crypto for Harris, and there's going to be, I think they're working on Mark Cuban and Anthony Scaramucci, who are divisive figures. Left leaning. Mooch is, a flip flopper, but it'll be good to get more attention, and especially more what I would call legitimate attention. Mooch is maybe a bad example, but
I don't think he's a bad example. Just because
you don't think so?
No, because he wants to be in the spotlight, so he's going to talk about things that give him attention. That's his only.
And to be fair, when he talks about crypto and is not being incendiary, I actually think he talks about it helpfully and well.
He strikes me as someone who might actually have better motives, even if he is ill-informed on some stuff. But at the end of the day, both parties are pandering to the crypto block, which honestly, I would not expect like sweeping helpful regulation to come into place. Like, we may not like to hear this, but simply instituting a Bitcoin strategic reserve is not going to do shit except show it would be a vote of confidence. It would not do anything to clear up the murky regulatory climate in the country. And you can pretty easily pick the two main reasons for this conversation happening right now. One, Republicans need something on a platform that is popular with some group that's not extreme, because they have lost that from their platform. Democrats are just losing enthusiasm every year because of the lack of commitment and conviction to doing something small and specific and helpful, which is why it's interesting that Biden just unveiled his whatchamacallits yesterday. It's a bunch of like little teeny tiny red tape protections for people, like how to cancel subscriptions easier, and like laws put in place to make it so that it has to be like a one-stop click to get out of stuff like that.
Honestly, we really need a lot of that stuff. There are so many little piddly things. Sleeps is in here a lot, or shares in our Discord a lot, little resources about cybersecurity. That's like his personal focus, and how under-equipped we are to move not just people online in a meaningful way, but on-chain. Like, there is such poor infrastructure and education. I honestly think if an incumbent president or a newly elected president wanted to lead their administration toward helpful regulatory change, that would be the first thing I think they'd need to do, is like embrace telling a better story about crypto as a nonpartisan issue. And then they need to work with people on both sides of the aisle, not just to establish things like a strategic reserve. Alex, I'd be curious to know what you think the most important crypto policies would be. But number one for me would be, we absolutely need to take a friendlier approach to innovation. Like, while we seek to regulate, we need to do the common sense regulation stuff, but we also should absolutely reverse our stance on things like Tornado Cash. Code should not be illegal. People should not be afraid that because they are coding something, they could go to jail. That's like number one way to kill innovation right now. I think the Tornado Cash lawsuits are the most important lawsuits happening across the crypto space right now. And I think the number two thing they could do is establish helpful legislation for stablecoins, not a CBDC necessarily, though I wouldn't be sad about that. I think it is imperative, if they want the dollar to stay strong and they want to provide for the demand that exists for the dollar around the world, in a sea of competing interests for other currencies, for other global powers. This is a time of flux and transition. I don't love the hegemony of the US, but if that's something they want to protect, stablecoins are the number one weapon, for sure.
It's truly, like, I think the big disconnect there, perhaps in Washington, is thinking about a stablecoin as a separate thing, when really what it is just a different tool that the dollar can use to increase velocity and security.
Tokenized.
It was, yeah, which increases velocity and security. I think, though, that, I don't know, in terms of like policy that would be helpful, you got to start with, so here's one thing that like Trump proposed years and years ago that carried water. He had zero follow through, which was the reason that nothing ever happened helpful. But step one is to like round up all of the rules that are colliding with each other, and eliminate them, get rid of stuff. DL, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Right, because right now there are people like to say there's no regulation. Right now, I would say there is too much, and the rules are running into each other. So first, you gotta get rid of some of that shit. Here's a good example. Coinbase recently re-expanded their operations to the state of Hawaii after not operating there for years. So starting in 2020, Hawaii launched a pilot program to see like how they could fix the regulatory climate in Hawaii to be more welcoming to crypto related companies. And for a very long time, crypto companies were required to carry what's called a money transmitter license in the state of Hawaii, which seems innocuous on its face. If you read the description of it, it's basically just like a license to carry out money services. If your business transmits money between company and user, the way that a crypto exchange does, for example, or a stock broker. So Robinhood, same kind of idea. The difference is that there is a weird double standard requirement for collateralizing the holdings of customers in states for any business that is required to have one of these money transmitter licenses. So in addition to all of the assets that users held on the Coinbase platform, Coinbase would have been required to one-for-one back up with their own fiat currency reserve, which would have been billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, to back up every single dollar in user funds held on the platform, which is, again, you might hear that and sound, okay, I can understand that. It's completely unattainable for lots of businesses like this that transmit in alternate currencies. It's just not, so they just left. And Hawaii realized like, this sucks. So they just removed the requirement for an MTL to be held. And Coinbase immediately moved back in after a very successful pilot program, which started in 2020. And Hawaii's like, oh shit, this is helping. And now Robinhood's back and Coinbase is back. I expect others will follow. And the state is happy about it. So like, that's kind of like, the first state to legalize marijuana recreationally, right? Like all of a sudden people realize like, hey, wait a second, this isn't impacting my life. And now my state has an extra $4 billion in tax revenue that people are almost happy to pay. Perhaps there's something here, and then other states follow. So that's kind of how these things get started. I would say that is a really good start in terms of policy. Find some stuff to scrap, but instead of what we did the first time when Trump's administration scrapped a whole bunch of rules that were bad and prevented meaningful expansion and progress by everybody running into each other with red tape all the time, you got to have something to replace it with. You can't just get rid of all of the structure and then bounce.
Because something will just fill its place. And if you're not intentional about what that is, it'll be, it's like a cluttered desk, man. I clean this thing up, and the real trick is going to be you want to protect that space. You want to care about that space. You want to make it intentional.
Yeah.
It's let me give you one more example. It's like influencer tokens, man. We don't have to go there, but it's like the DJ Khaled problem. One goes down, another comes up. One goes down, another comes up. Unless and until you fill the vacuum with something else, or the demand for that kind of thing changes, and it can change. It's up to us, but it can change. Can I ask you a question from the comments?
Yes, please. I was just trying to catch up because I was rambling for a second and I was not.
No, it's okay. We had a good. This is a good discussion around policy. I know we've got a couple of numbers coming through. CPI, I think, is today, and boy, I'm hoping Will join us, because all I could say is basically here are the numbers, and I could give you some uninformed takes. But we had a couple of comments. Nick Johnson said something, and Cosmic said something that's in the same kind of line. We're talking about infrastructure that will support helpful changes. And I'm not really familiar with these two kind of things, but they sound interesting. I wanted to ask you about them. Yeah. So Nick told us about how ICP, ready for this? This is a technical nightmare. ICP introduces threshold Schnorr signatures to boost Bitcoin compatibility. Nick says this is huge. It's going to be a massive step forward for how Bitcoin can be used to do DeFi and other things. Interoperability in a nutshell, good for everybody. Have no idea what it means, need to read more about it. Sounds interesting, and if one of our community members likes it, I want to learn more. The second one is, Cosmic has told me about something that Algorand does. He's my, he's got the Algorand flag. He's a big fan.
Oh, I know.
But he has shared some cool stuff with me about it recently that makes me think is worth another look, specifically this concept of EMT, electronic money tokens, and how they are regulated in the EU. It reminds me of the couple things I've seen about it. Remind me of, remember when Benny at Multiverse X was like really hounding the European Union to use Multiverse X as their payment and just didn't get anywhere with it?
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of what that could have been. And I'm personally just mostly excited about it because I have a grudge against Multiverse X. And though I'm sure I could hug Benny if I saw him in person, I am ready to see I'm ready to see them take a hike. And that sounds like it could be cool. Electronic money tokens sounds kind of like he's talked about it more, but they're both topics I don't know what the hell threshold Schnorr signatures are. And I don't know enough about electronic money tokens.
Besides the best naming for a crypto protocol update since Mimblewimble.
Yeah, and aside from dank sharding, we got some good vocabulary, but there are some top contenders.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, have you heard about either of these things? And is it something that anybody in our comments, should we look more into that and maybe make it intelligible? If you're interested, let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
Cosmic, Nick, let us know.
I would write it down to read about later, but I think that that just sounds like one of those things that I'm going to need to read more closely because I'm not an engineer. And so I'm nervous about doing that on the show. That kind of gives me the vibe all of a sudden I'm going to need, hey guys, just chill for 20 minutes while I figure out what this shit means. Yeah, that's a GPT. Exactly. GPT is going to have to help me decipher that one, I think.
Yeah, and Alex and I, we love to research on stream, but we also are aware that you're watching us and don't want to be bad stewards of your attention. There's lots of stuff we can talk about. And it's better if we talk about it when we are informed enough to have an opinion, because we could tell you a lot of stuff, but it would just be, So thank you for the tips. Give us a minute and let us know what you know. Give us the TLDRs.
So I wanted to real quick do a quick market chat and discuss with the group a move that I'm looking at that I might make right this very second.
No pressure. Okay, tell us.
Yeah. Well, I've been sitting on it for a while, but there's an interesting setup or an interesting, I think, metric, or metric's not the word I want. There's an interesting, I don't know. If you look at the weekly, okay, on everybody, everything across the board, the top how many? There are very few red numbers on the week.
Okay.
Very few. And one that is red on the week is Solana.
Okay.
And my theory, and I was talking in general yesterday with Russ. Russ CO, if you're in here. What's up?
Rhino Russ? Who the hell's Russ? Sorry, Russ.
We were talking in the Discord yesterday. But
okay,
the move that I was talking about is like, if we get good data today, and we see that little pump, it might be a good short-term move, given the fact that Solana is red on the week. This would be short-term. Like I would take the risk that it could be one, bad data, and we could take a bit of a hit, or two, that not much really happens, or if it's just a small 5% or whatever, I would probably still swing out of it, just because I'm not for sure that we're out of the woods. But that's kind of what I'm thinking, like moving.
I get you, but we lost you. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the chart. I'm going to have the weekly, and I'm going to have you talk through it again, and I'm going to have you use specific price targets, and I need you to label with buys and sells. Tell us where you got in, where you got out. Are you swinging up? Are you swinging down? Are we buying or selling? That kind of thing. I want people to see this, because I think a lot of people have tokens that could set them up for something like this. Okay, so here's Solana on the weekly. Current price is 148. Alex, tell me what you want me to show, and then take it away. Give it to us one more time so we can slow it down and understand.
Yeah, so essentially, hold on.
I know it doesn't help you to see my screen because the numbers are so damn small. But, you just need this. And for context, this number is $140. This number is $165. So we're going... a pretty good 10 to 15% range right there. And right there.
So essentially, here's the thinking. My trading history in a brief snapshot with Solana is accumulate during bearish times with an average buy price of about $27. Sold a shitload of it at 200 and 190 and 180. 190 and 200. That was the largest profit taking. That's where a lot of the stables that I'm holding right now came from. They've been sitting there in stables ever since 180, 190, 200. On that wick down the other day, when everything cratered and Bitcoin wicked into the upper 49s for a brief schmidge, Solana touched 110, and I turned some of those stables into Solana at 112. And
just real quick, that actually is before the weekly. That's just right about here.
Yeah. We obviously recovered, and we haven't done much but range since then. Granted, it's a very short amount of time. So took some of that back into profit at 150 just because that was a big swing. And again, my strategy, as I will say every single live, my strategy that has worked out for me is to remove emotion and just sell stuff when it's really green and buy stuff when it's really red. And that's literally the entire plan. And most of the stuff is currently Solana, just because I have faith that it will, one, dip with the rest of the market, and two, come back because they've got shit brewing and it's been treating me well so far. So that's a risk I'm willing to take. And then So right now I've noticed basically that for the last week, Solana is actually down like a couple percent, nothing humongous, but a couple percent. And my thinking was, if we continue to have good data-driven news this week, that could be the fuel for a at least short-term, small to light, mild move to the upside. And I wanted to take the chance on that trade. So basically, the idea would be grab a little bit of SOL right now, and then see if we can get like a 5 or 10% move, and then just roll it right back into stable coins. Because it's stables I was holding long term anyway. And if I can increase it by a smidge by using something with upside potential, then that was a move that I wanted to take. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Got it. Well explained.
Yep.
So you're about to do it right now?
Yep.
Well, Godspeed to you. While we're looking at charts, I'm going to look at Polkadot, because I keep forgetting every time I touch my crypto stuff, I don't have a Polkadot wallet that's hot and like interfacing coming up all the time. I have held my Polkadot in a ledger for a long time just because I was staking it wherever. And as a result, I always forget to move it when I'm moving other stuff around. And so I have a small bag of DOT that I'm pretty ready to let go of. I don't know how much it is, because I really do think it's quite small. But I got to see what that's doing, because now Alex is talking about trading. It's reminding me, oh my God. There was a time when $4.51 Polkadot would have made me just so happy to buy. And now I'm happy to say buy.
I'm right there with you.
Oh, I just cry about it. Okay, also, update. We did get the CPI numbers. Thank you to Eli. Thank you to Cosmic for giving us the update. It looks like 0.2%, which is as expected. And
where are you reading that?
Oh, I honestly was reporting it right from the comments. Were we off?
Okay, no, I'm not saying that the number I'm got is right. I'm trying to figure out if the number I just saw, because I'm just scrolling on trending Twitter right now, obviously, because the numbers just came out.
I see several comments from all our 0.2% on par with expectation. CPI 0.2% met expectations. Consumer price index was expected to show 0.2%.
I was
what are they saying? We can don't trust verify.
This has U.S. core inflation year over year, forecast 3.3, consensus 3.2, actual 3.2.
Oh, I think that's so we went from 3 to 3.2. I think is the rate of change was 0.2 is what I'm understanding. Hang on, let's double check. Let me peek my eyes at a chart. And honestly,
here's a totally different number. Okay, so I'm done with Twitter. This is so useless.
Yeah, well, you went to Twitter to check it? Come on, man.
Well, I figured someone was just going to screenshot the data instead of hard writing it out, but all three of the tweets that I saw first are all different numbers. So
that's just painful, man.
Here we go.
I mean, like, go to the .gov, my brother.
Well, yeah, that's where we are now. I was just saving myself the minute. Okay.
Here's the breakdown. Price is
0.2%. Consumer price is up 3% from June 23 to June 20. Okay, that's not what I want. Hold on. Latest numbers. Here we go. Yeah, plus 0.2.
Excellent. So what I know enough about to say on that is the most important thing is probably that we are trending in the direction we expected. It is important when anybody who has authority is part of a 3-letter agency, sets an expectation for the public, and that expectation is met or exceeded in a positive direction. When the narrative shifts, then people panic. Just as much as if the numbers are bad and it's expected they'll be bad, it's just as bad to have numbers that you don't expect. And there's a disconnect between the public's sense of what the information is and what the information actually ends up being. if you want more analysis, I would honestly point you to, Will had a great video about it yesterday. Might have had 2 videos about it yesterday on this metric specifically, but we've got a couple key metrics, macro metrics for the US coming out all week. Tomorrow we're getting something else. I I honestly couldn't tell you what it is. Somebody in the comments have to help me because I'm not the indicator Bureau of Labor Statistics guy. It might be unemployment. But Alex, do you have a take on it that's helpful?
No, I was just finding some sort of emoji to send to Nick here, who's trying his best to explain to me what threshold schnorr is, and obviously it's going straight over my head. So I'm just sitting here trying to find out what's the emoji that indicates that I have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
So I don't know if you saw his comments, but first, Nick, I want to applaud you for having a whole conversation in the comments. The best place really to post this, we watch the Discord while we're on the show. So maybe you could just type up a little thing in the general chat of Discord if you're so inclined. But
the comments do help. The comments do help the live, but if you're struggling to fit text into 25 characters or whatever they give you.
Yeah. If I could give you a gift, I would.
Yeah.
So he said threshold schnorr allows your identity to be able to access any coin in existence without the need for any intermediary or any other source. Nothing else is needed in crypto. I followed that up and said, okay, well, nothing else is needed. What about oracles to bring stuff that's currently off-chain, on-chain, and vice versa? And he said, threshold schnorr basically can tap Solana's chain, take or receive a coin with 0 change coin, which I'm not sure what that means, and that everything on ICP is already on-chain. No need for any other blockchain, one-stop shop. So I don't know, Nick. I'm still not convinced. I'm thinking about off-chain, on-chain, bringing them together and moving them back and forth. Once it's there, maybe that will help us move it. I need to learn more.
Yeah,
They said, this is a side note, Mashiste's dead. Alex's dad, the only Polkadot user.
He is. I don't think he's actively doing anything. His observation was if we wanted to build this thing, that was the best tool set for his specific thing. But currently, I am working on getting him more purposefully, looking at stuff. I sent him a whole bunch of Solana docs, and right now he's like, wow, there's like a lot of people doing stuff over there. This is pretty cool. There's a lot of really nice tools over here. So he's taken a rush crash course to, shake the dust off of his Rust chops. Yep, the Polkadot DAU went back to 0. It was at 1 briefly. Now it's at 0.
Rust chops sounds like if a bunch of devs had a dad band that played like jazz, like straight ahead jazz. Rust chops. Yeah. And I believe your dad would be in that band, and he probably would play like, I don't know, woodwinds or something obscure.
My dad is an extremely accomplished pianist.
A pianist. Okay. Yeah. That could be if you brushed up on some of your dev skills, that could be Rust Chops, the Popovich family band.
I mean, I'm a relatively accomplished cellist.
I know, but you're not a Rust developer, so
I'm not a Rust developer. This is true.
You have to catch up, dude.
He doesn't. My mom says he doesn't like jazz, so that's out.
Okay, sorry. Also, did you see Mashiste? Mashiste is from. I wish we had the ability to pin comments because Mashiste, you would stay pinned for.
So wait, you do. I've seen it happen so many times. Take a quick second and just poke back around because these options are never. Why don't you have it if every other live I've been to has it?
It's because I'm hosting. For some reason, when you are the host, you cannot do it. You shall not pass.
But why can't I do it then? How do I? Hang on.
Hold Mashiste's name. This is like. I feel so old. But he said, where's William when you need him? Probably lifting weights or chiseling stone with his jawline. William's jaw could host a lusion competition.
Have you ever seen, I know this is not directed at Evan because I know that the answer is no. There's a very prominent side character in Family Guy, the Bottom Tooths.
No.
And so they're just like, ultra rich in their suits and smoking jackets, with the cigar in the lounge with the tumbler of, an ounce and a half pour of some very expensive whiskey, and one of them is James Bottomtooth, and that's Will. They have very prominent jaws and large chins.
Like it. Well, he looks like Gaston on Beauty and the Beast. He sure does. Will would do a great Gaston cosplay, and I think somebody said yesterday he would do a great Superman cosplay, which we probably will get to see if we hang out with him long enough. Okay, so we got our CPI. This seems like a good chance to tell you while we are like between topics and lovingly invoking Will to come to tell you, don't forget if you haven't already that we've got a $50 giveaway. Look at that. If you sign up for a referral to test out this week's sponsor product, which is Banana Gun, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to pay for anything, but this is a safe, secure way to start playing around with Telegram trading bots. Simple text interfaces that look like the experiences we're used to are going to be the ones that bring people on chain. Swiping cards, taking screenshots, simple stuff that people are already doing now. And most people are familiar with sending a text message. That's what it is to trade tokens on a Telegram bot like Banana Gun. And Banana Gun specifically has some cool features that we've got to try. We've got a tutorial about it to walk you right through if you do want to use it. Copy trading, sniping, a built-in honeypot checker. And they were kind enough to sponsor last week and this week of the Rise Up Morning Show. And we even have Bunches, the Banana Monkey by Christina. This might be the best thing to happen for Banana Gun ever. I thought they were going up when they sponsored the show, but this is the best. So if you don't do it for us, do it for Bunches. And post your proof in our Discord for a chance to win $50. Bunches, I got to ask you, man, how do you feel about being such a celebrity now that Banana Gun and the Rise Up Morning Show are hanging out together?
He says, listen, you see this face?
Yeah, Bunches, I see it.
That's all you need.
That's the moneymaker right there.
That's the moneymaker.
Well, Bunches, I really, really appreciate you hanging out with us, man. I sure do love you. I wish I could give you a little hug.
No,
partially worried with a tiny little thread bullet.
He's a staple of the office now.
Yeah. How in the world does this industry not moon now that we have Bunches? I don't know. But until it does, check out our link in bio. It's also at theriseupmorningshow.com. You can find the links there. We've got them in our Discord. It'll take you about 2 minutes to create a wallet or import a wallet, and you can start messing around with stuff and then post proof in the Discord. And somebody this weekend will win $50. We'll send it right to your wallet so that you can start trading some memes for free in the old meme coin casino, or just buying other stuff. You don't have to only buy memes there, but it is a great tool for memes specifically because it's so darn fast. And we'd love to hear your feedback. So have Banana Gun. Alex got some good feedback from them on some settings the other day. The team has been very helpful in terms of answering questions, offering to share, and we hope it's the start of a beautiful relationship. So thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Thank you for helping us help them test their product and get some feedback. We appreciate it. He's also in prison. Who's in prison, Alex? Oh, Sam.
Sonoran said SBF was worried about ICP. I see. Okay. Two things. Nick, the Discord can be found in my bio and Evan's bio, although those, Mike, we haven't talked about it yet, but it's pulled up on my screen and that's next. The Discord link is in both of our bios. However, those invites for some reason break about 65% of the time. So if you try it and it doesn't work for you, there is a tiny little baby itty bitty website for the show, theriseupmorningshow.com. You need the in there, theriseupmorningshow.com. And that invite almost always works. If for some reason it doesn't work, just DM one of us and we will get you in there. Here's the thing about ICP that and this is exclusively an opinion and an observation, but I think this is an interesting conversation. So I've been aware of and have had lots of friends who are engineers and developers who've told me about ICP and the tech, that old talking point. I've talked to developers over there. I've applied to the Definity Grants Foundation for a grant. I've talked to them it seems not really heavily disputed that the tool set to make stuff there is pretty decent. That you have a lot of options, you can do a lot of stuff, and that a lot of things are possible. You know, Daniel talked about it a lot before he broke up with Web3, and
we should check on him. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Oh, I talk to him every now and then. He's like a lover that was spurned by his promiscuous other half in Web3. But I don't know. I don't see, like, I keep seeing more and more reasons that like ICP has potential because it now has the ability to do XYZ. And I never see anybody care. And I think that it kind of plays into this idea that they have a very, very, very hard time. And this is not unique to ICP. I think this is the reason that Base and Solana are the ones with the attention, along with the ecosystems focused on gaming, because gaming is also a language that many more people speak. If you can't talk to people who aren't there yet, you will never grow. That's the cardinal rule of growth and marketing strategy. Unless you can appeal to somebody new, you will stay the way that you are forever. And ICP has never once, for all of their technological advancements, they've never once made an advancement in their ability to talk to people. And so it's the same reason that Cardano has lost a ton of interest, because they never adapted their strategy. Last bull market, it was acceptable to just be hyper academic and sound really technical and woo everyone with a very, impressive looking white paper that you need a PhD to read. And like that was enough to get retail interested. But now people are like, well, I bought into that narrative last time and my bags are underwater and dark red. I'm not making that mistake again. You've got to convince me. And some ecosystems evolved and did convince. They did new stuff. They fixed the way that they could talk to people. Solana, for all of its technological faults, the fact that it goes down every now and then, the fact that there's questions about XYZ and, the whole FTX debacle, right? Like, despite all of that, they can talk to people. Yeah. It's really that simple. You don't have to have the best product ever if it works a lot of the time and people can do stuff and they have fun and they understand what they're doing and they understand what's going on. And it's truly that simple. So I don't know. I don't have any faith that until ICP or Algorand or Polkadot or Cardano or any of those, right now you're witnessing Stellar try to make that marketing and messaging flip. That is an interesting ecosystem to watch because they've actively realized that they are a dinosaur chain and that they need to change something. So they've refreshed their branding. The whole look and vibe has a facelift and they're changing the language. Will it work? We'll see. It's cool and encouraging to see the attempt, but I have dwindling faith, ever dwindling faith in ecosystems that cannot adapt and evolve to meet the times. I don't trust them to evolve.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. And I would simply add that a lot of preservation on our side, like the reason people are in is because they're in. There is a sort of survivorship bias, many other types of bias that go into the phenomenon we call bag holder bias. So are they building cool stuff? Sounds like it. I definitely want to look into this Schnorr thing. But if that's how they talk about it, and a guy like me who lives here can't get a quick, send money to your friends with no fees or whatever the buzzword is that's going to make me want to use it and help me understand why, then I'm not that hopeful. Alex, tell me what you got on this Coinbase Bitcoin story, because this is a big story. I'm glad you got it up, and I would love to talk about this too for all the different implications that are here.
Let me get the tweet back. So the tweet was just CB BTC. And then of course, Brian and Jesse both retweeted it. So,
which is telling. They were ready for it.
Jesse also said that,
for somebody,
he
I just want
also-
to know for somebody who's a beginner. Can we talk about what a derivative is? There's Bitcoin, which you know about, and you can, anybody anywhere can create a liquid token, which is, I give Alex my Bitcoin and he gives me a token that represents the Bitcoin I gave him. It might be A BTC for Alex Bitcoin or WBTC for wrapped Bitcoin. If I give Coinbase my Bitcoin and they give me a liquid token back, that would be CB BTC. People will accept it the way they would accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. I just, I knew that was going to be a tricky one.
Yeah. No, it's good. So to also, again, in the terms of making this more palatable for the broad population, people like me who are not engineers, who need a little bit more, how does this help me? What is this going to do for me? How can I be involved in this? Jesse said earlier that they are going to build the biggest Bitcoin ecosystem on Coinbase, essentially. And so that's really what they're out here working on doing, is building a Bitcoin ecosystem, which has prompted some interesting comparisons and conversations about networks like Stacks. I didn't know, but there's like dozens and dozens and dozens, if not 100 plus Bitcoin layer 2s, layer 1s and 2, like things built on Bitcoin. And I think by TVL, the biggest is Core, interestingly. And then I forget what Stacks' metric was, but Stacks has, maybe it was user base or something. So there was that.
You know, what interests me about this is that there's sort of not only is there a burgeoning Bitcoin DeFi movement as layer 2s explode, as TVL is increasing, but a lot of DeFi Bitcoin is having, there's a shakeup moment happening right now. So the primary synthetic Bitcoin asset is WBTC, wrapped Bitcoin. There are around 154,000 wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum network. This is like $9 billion. And the primary custodian, BitGo, has just recently announced it has plans to move out of the US into Hong Kong and Singapore. They've made a deal with Justin Sun of Tron fame and MakerDAO, big player in the DeFi space. They have said we should offboard wrapped Bitcoin because we don't trust this. This seems too risky for us. And it's a turning point where potentially, like in the next couple days, you could see the most dominant Bitcoin synthetic asset, wrapped Bitcoin, totally go away for all intents and purposes, or at least experience a very rapid decline. And what perfect timing that would be for a company like Coinbase to say, hey guys, don't worry, we're here. Check it out. I think a lot of people in DeFi would be skeptical of Coinbase, but I think when they put Coinbase on the scale with Justin Sun, and when you consider like how significant these WBTC holdings are, these people are really looking for an alternative. Coinbase doesn't look so bad. These synthetic alternatives to Bitcoin, these wrapped assets, they give velocity to the money so that you can still use it even while you are loaning it or borrowing it. And if Coinbase is going to make it simple, easy, and effective, people will use it, especially new people. I'd be really curious to see what happens with that.
No, for sure. Couple points here. Let me scroll. Hang on.
Take your time.
Keith. So Keith, just real quick, I think this is a worthwhile strategy point. Will actually talked about this not too long ago, and this is something else that I've done before. So Keith says, just hoping that ICP bumps up a bit so that I can get the hell out of it, which is you're not alone in wanting like something that's down to just recover just enough so that you can get out. There's another way to play that. And without saying anything specifically, if you look at, I'm just going to make up some numbers for the sake of conversation. Let's say that there's two cryptos in question here. One is the one that you bought, and one is the one that you wish you bought. So you bought A, you wish you bought B. A is down 50%. You're upset about it. B is up 20%, whatever. You are sitting in A, wanting it to just recover back to the place that you bought it so that you can get out of it and leave. But you have no faith in it anymore. You don't want to be invested in it anymore. Whatever has happened to change your conviction has happened. You no longer want A, you want B or C or D or something new entirely. You can either hope that A recovers, but perhaps your conviction is well abandoned and it isn't going to recover. I mean, they don't always come back. They don't always recapture not just their all-time high. They just don't always recapture any level that you want them to capture. Mm-hmm. So what's up, dude? Rather than hoping and missing out on tons of other opportunity that you are just going to let go by you because you're underwater on something that you don't even want anymore, I would ask myself, what do I have a stronger conviction in? That asset A that I no longer want is going to go up by enough to get me out either break even or in profit of some sort? Or do I believe that asset B or something else entirely is going to do the same move? So if asset A needs to make a 100% gain in order for me to break even, what do I think is more likely? This thing A that I don't want anymore is going to do a 2x, or that asset B, C, or D is going to do a 2x. So if I think that A, in this case ICP, if it's $6 and Solana is 150, what do I think is more likely? Solana to 300 or ICP to 12, right? And I'm just making up numbers. I don't know what ICP's price is right now. So that would be a different way to look at it. And Will, I would ask you, welcome. But I think you were talking about this not too long ago too, where you had a position on something that you lost faith in that was underwater, and you rotated it into something that you thought had a better chance of making back that loss into something else. So basically all I'm saying is that you don't have to remake the money in the asset that lost you the money to cover the gap. If there's something that you have a stronger conviction in, it's okay to roll out of something at a loss, lock that in for your taxes, and then make a new investment into something that you think could do better. Otherwise, there's no telling how long you might be saltily holding the bag on asset A, watching better stuff do numbers while your capital is tied up in something that you don't even want anymore.
Exactly. That's huge. Like, that's huge right there, because there's such an emotional attachment to like your bag, because you attach like hopes and dreams, like honestly, like your personal hopes and dreams, because you feel that with your financial success, right? And so you attach your real hopes and dreams to this bag, and it becomes hard to then drop that bag because you don't just have a financial connection, but you have a personal connection to that bag. And it's hard to drop that personal connection, right?
Yes.
But the thing is if you're using your brain and you go, okay, cool, I'm in pee pee poo poo boo boo coin, and I've attached dreams to it, but I have I'm not sure if it can get me my money back, but I know Jupiter could get my money back, but maybe it can't give me that hope and dream, but it can get my money back and maybe give me some extra on top of that. If I think pee pee poo poo boo 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 but da ba ba poo poo coin,
that's a technical term, by the way.
Well, that should make that a coin. Dive to where your conviction is, because odds are your conviction is there for a reason, and that coin's going to ultimately do better. So you have to cut off that connection to a sinking ship. A lot of the times, I was a lifeguard and a swim instructor, and I had my own swim instructing business for years. This was high school through college and just after college. I taught kids with special needs, adults. I even taught a course at UConn, and it was a class, and I was a teacher at UConn while also a student, and I gave myself an A. I don't know how that worked.
You went to UConn?
Oh, yeah, I went to UConn, University of Connecticut, baby. Woo! And one of the things we teach lifeguards is if you are going up to a drowning victim and they're flailing all over the place, do not touch them. Like, don't touch them, because they're going to grab you and they're going to drown you. You have to wait till they're calm or till they're kind of going down a little bit, and then you can grab them, because otherwise you can't save them unless you have serious flotation devices. And so I look at that as
very specific training.
Yeah, it's very specific training. And so I view that the same way as I do my crypto investments. You know, you see a bag that's going down, that's a drowning victim that's flailing its arms about. Or is it a bag that's going down that's ready to be saved? You know, is that something you can go and dive into? So like I look at it just like that too. Because if you go and you keep dollar cost averaging into this coin because you have a personal connection to it, as opposed to real deep conviction in it, it's going to drown you. It's going to drag you down. It's going to take you out with it. And that's something that you need to avoid.
So in addition to this sort of sunken cost fallacy, which is the phenomenon of I've already invested, so I must keep investing, there's also, I gave you this visual aid. You were explaining this thing that Chris,
Evan,
go ahead.
The term Evan just used, sunken cost fallacy, is a very real thing that you can look up and read about and understand. It's exactly what we're talking about right now. Sunken cost fallacy is the term for this theory that we're discussing right now.
Yeah, and it's a research-backed, studied phenomenon. It is something we are all susceptible to. Yes. But there's also a really helpful mental model that goes Chris Dixon calls this the taller hill problem. This idea that if you are standing on a hill you have worked to climb, you're halfway up. And there's an opportunity for you to go to a top, whether it's, you're a middle manager and you might become the CEO, whether it's you did a 2X, you might do a 3X. But if you are on a hill that is not the highest hill, then you are actually making a less optimal move. If you move to the top of this hill, you are not as high. The goal is to get as high as possible. And I mean, in terms of altitude here, the goal is to stand at the highest peak. If you move to the top of this hill, that is a worse move objectively than if you move to the bottom of this new hill in order to start climbing it. It seems like a worse move because you've invested all this time, because you're almost at the top, but this is not what this is. This is better than this. It is always a better move at any time to go here and start climbing this hill. And if you find another taller hill, it is better to go to that hill and climb that hill. It is why we have seen so many people in the last probably 5 or 6 years, very smart people, move from Silicon Valley development to blockchain, to AI, to quantum, because they realize the hill is bigger, even if they were at the top of those previous hills. So never be afraid to cut your losses and go climb a bigger hill, because the farther up you are, I don't know, it feels good to be high or something like that. There's something in there, and I know you've got it. We've all given you some nuggets, but... Well, I wish you were here for all the salacious comments before you joined the live, because I was missing you because I needed some analysis of CPI. You had some good videos about it, and I wanted you to bring that context here. I think everybody else was just thirsty to see you, man. Machiste said Will is probably chiseling stone with his jaw.
just smashing my chin into marble.
Which would be something I would be afraid for that rock, man.
Yeah, well, it's there's a famous TikToker. He's like this young, jacked, super attractive Italian dude, but he's like one of the best sculptors in the world. And it's just him sculpting marble in some amazing setting in Italy. And I would just be like, all right, bro, just takes my head. That'd be great. CPI though, not my chin and marble. So the CPI data came out 38 minutes ago. And it beat expectations. It came in at 2.9%. It was at 3%. Core inflation also came in at 3.2%, which met expectations. That's just peeling back CPI towards the portions of the CPI data that the Fed most cares about. But overall, fell from 3% to 2.9%, which I was calling for because the price of oil fell throughout the entire month of July. So that's good for markets. However, something to be aware of is we might not pump today because of that. The reason why is if you look at the S&P 500 on the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame, and actually let me pull it up. Let me just pull it up. Perfect. And if you guys are wondering why I'm about to pull up the S&P 500, it's because our markets are very connected, in case you guys weren't. So here we go. Here is the S&P 500, and this is on the 1 hour chart. So what we have right here, let me zoom in a little bit more. So what we have right here is we have this gap. Actually, instead of pointing, let me do this. We have this gap right here. Now, if you're unaware with what the strategy is with gaps get filled. So that would mean that price would need to come down and, you know, fill this area so that this gap gets filled, something like that, right? The other thing too to be aware of is that on the 1 hour time frame, we have been in overbought territory for quite some time at absolutely 100 levels. And when we change the chart to the 4 hour chart, we have the same gap, but also the stochastic RSI is very overbought on the 4 hour chart as well. So markets seem overextended in the stock market. It does seem like we want to come down, at the very least, fill this gap. What you want to see as a bull is you'd want to see us come down, fill this gap, just get rid of this sell side pressure, and either find support on these exponential moving averages, or if we fall lower, find support on this exponential moving average. That's what you want to see. And then we could be in the clear for the stock market to continue upwards. And if that happens, then Bitcoin should be in the clear to continue to move upwards as well. And lastly, this is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. As you can see, we're struggling to get above the 21-day exponential moving average right now. If the stock market dips, we will also most likely dip with it. And then we start to enter territory that becomes really dangerous again, which is the 200-day exponential moving average. If we fall below this orange line, without making a new relative higher high here, really compared to this number here, which is at $62,736. If we don't make a new relative higher high from here, fall back below the 200-day exponential moving average, we're back in our danger zone. And our danger zone is pretty much everything here below the 200-day. So that's the situation we find ourselves in now. We can avoid this though if the stock market holds on these exponential moving averages after it fills that gap. If it fills this gap, and this is where I'll end, if it fills that gap and we get good data tomorrow on the jobless report and good data on retail sales, it could keep bouncing up. And the expectations are for both of those data sets to still be positive. The GDP growth of the United States is still expected to be good for this quarter. Which means people on retail sales will still be spending money. And the jobless claims report should also be good, because if GDP is expanding, the demand for jobs should also be at least holding flat, if not expanding also. So we should get some more good data as the week goes on. Today might be a little bit of a disappointment for people expecting a pump off of the good CPI data, just because the market's a little overcooked right now. It looks like the market front ran the CPI data. So that's the situation that we seem to be in right now.
Got it. Thank you for the analysis.
Yep. Solid. Well, I wanted to really quick, without derailing this, we can come right back to it, but I made a couple comments that I think I maybe didn't explain thoroughly enough, and I was going back and forth with Nick in the comments here. I just wanted to clarify what I mean about the need to speak to people in their own language when you're talking about your protocol, like the reason that Solana is winning over ICP, for example.
Yeah.
It's not to say that you don't want experts building stuff, working on things, and like making objectively good products. I said that more to demonstrate the power of effective marketing. And so ideally, what you would have is a technologically good or superior product, but that product team, those engineers, would not expect that they themselves could accurately or helpfully articulate why their product is superior to people without hiring a marketing team or someone who knows how to speak that language and interpret developer speak into consumer speak, because there's a big gap there. So it's not to say that you would want to invest in a company run exclusively by frat bros versus run by engineers. It's that the engineers would recognize that perhaps one of those bros is more capable of speaking to people in their colloquial vernacular than they are. They're better at giving the message across. So that's really it. You have to, I'm way more bullish on a team of engineers that recognizes that they are not here to talk to the consumer. They're here to build a good product. and then they trust people who can talk to the consumer to tell people about the good product. And right now in crypto, it's young enough to where even if the product is technically not as robust or good, objective, as something else, if the team with the better communications department does a better job communicating, they are going to win regardless of the quality of all of the tech. That's what I meant.
Yep. So long as the tech is good enough.
Yes.
Yes.
Plus, we expect in the blockchain community, we expect blockchains to be perfect. But if you look at the broader tech space, most tech kind of blows, especially when it's new. Look at how MKBHD reviewed that one electric car whose stock he tanked by saying it wasn't very good. I mean, Elon Musk and Tesla, arguably a technologically good company, the Cybertruck has been recalled how many times for wild things like the gas pedal coming off and sticking the car in full throttle, like little things. And no, Acid Mike, for sure, that electric car was horrible. That's my point. Like, that company probably still made a shitload of money. They probably made money, even though the car was like objectively bad. So like in crypto right now, we have that exact same phenomenon where like Will said, as long as things can be good enough. I have T-Mobile as a mobile carrier. You know how much of my time I spend searching for a better signal? Like half. Yeah. It's like the fastest 5G network ever. Bullshit. It's like the fastest 5G network on like 6 square city blocks in America, and the rest of the time it's like struggling for dear life. But I still pay them every month to use the service because it gets the job done. So like, we're getting there. But anyway, it is garbage, hot garbage. I totally agree.
Hey, it's better than Boost Mobile. It's not Boost Mobile.
There you go.
And I got Mint over here, and it outperforms me all day.
But hey, you're supporting Ryan Reynolds' empire, so that's nice.
Yeah. They all have their downsides.
Did you have like him becoming a hyper capitalist? And like he is killing it. He is the business magnet of our time.
I know.
He's like right up there with The Rock.
To go from acting, which granted, if you become really big in acting, you can make money, but like so much, and Evan, you obviously know this, but like so many, like the personality types of so many people in acting are just like people who, for the most part, like don't have their shit together. Like they just don't. They just don't. So to come from the industry where majority of people are crazy or just don't have their shit together, to then have like the wherewithal to crush that industry, but then take that seed money and get your own like soccer team, get your own gin, get your own telecommunications company. Absolutely batshit crazy.
I think he's also got an internet advertising agency, and I think a lot of his businesses talk to each other and pay each other. And I don't know where he got his acumen from, like who mentored him or what he paid attention to, but he's winning the Monopoly game right now for sure. And I love that he does most of it off of his personality. So much so that like the whole Deadpool Wolverine thing is basically him and Hugh Jackman saying, we like each other. It'd be like if the three of us had enough attention to make a movie and could make our friendship the movie. Like that's what he has done. I'm pretty convinced that he is just playing himself everywhere at this point, or a version of himself, which way to go, man.
I'll give all the credit to Blake Lively.
Let me really quick, while we're talking about actors, let me do two things. Let me say, I just found out the show that I went to film at the start of the year is launching to Peacock October 18th, just in time for Halloween. And you can check out the teaser trailers by doing a Google for like Hysteria Peacock trailer.
I was just about to cancel my Peacock membership because I got it for the Olympics. I was just about to. It was on my to-do list today. My actual to-do list.
Hold it, or cancel and reapply. But October 18th is the day that the show will be live, and I'm the co-star in episode 6 of this show. So we'll see how it does. The preview looked cool. It's got a Stranger Things vibe. It should be. I honestly think a Halloween release date was perfect for the vibe of the show, and I'm excited to see what they do. But stay tuned for that. It's Hysteria on Peacock.
All right, dude. Hell yeah.
Well, and then I wanted to know, you were posting a little more about helping your brother out, raising funds for the film. The last thing you asked the Discord was about tokens? Should they have art, digital art or images from the film? And you said to us that you were talking to Machiste about a different mint mechanic. And I just wanted to know if we could get an update from you, because I was curious about what you guys had talked about, and thought it might be beneficial for our audience just to hear. This is another great example of where you can use tokens to play around with adding social contracts and financial contracts in smart contracts together, like using crypto to make something like fundraising for a cool movie better for a company and for the people who might participate.
Yeah, so what I was thinking about doing is, my brother has a website already for the movie called No Dogs Die. You can watch the trailer for his award-winning live-action short film that he directed and all that. And we're like, okay, cool. Hey, let's get a connect wallet button on the website. So people, when they go and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this NFT collection. The purpose of them is not to go up in value in any way, shape, or form. The purpose of them will just be like a means of fundraising for the movie. And then you have proof that on the blockchain that you gave some fundraising for the movie, and then you get your name in the credits, right? That's the whole purpose of it. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the website for the movie, have a connect wallet button added for like MetaMask and Coinbase Smart Wallet. And you connect to that, it pulls up some kind of form where you can say like, hey, this is my name, so that your name can be included in the credits of the movie. And then I went and had a conversation with Machiste, and I was like, hey, we already have a website for this. And for you guys, for anyone who doesn't know, Machiste has done a bunch of building on blockchain. He built Logadog on Base. He's been retweeted, I think, by Jesse Pollock or by Coinbase also for the work he's done there.
He's giving us some love. Yeah.
Yeah, so give Machiste some love. Yeah. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to do this. Is this something you could help me with? And he's like, hey, I mean, you can actually go through a different route entirely. If all you're trying to do is capture people's addresses and their names, you can use, and I haven't looked into this yet because he sent me the messages last night, but you can use dform or holders.at and use that for submissions for addresses that are holders of the NFT. And then I need to explore if I can like attach that to the website we currently have or something. Because if I can do that, then that's super easy. I don't have to have a web developer build like anything else too much. So that would be cool. Maybe we can just add a link or something to dform or holders.at. I don't know how it works yet. I need to dive into it. Machiste, you might be cringing as I say this, but I need to dive into it and take a look. But it looks like those are two platforms. And again, it's dform and holders.at for NFT holder snapshot tools. So I'm going to explore those and I'll let you guys know. Tori says, I saw dform on the on-chain summer page. Well, that's good. Maybe I'll use dform then, because I'd love to have Coinbase be like, let's promote this too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and I've decided on the animated route, because a bunch of the animations I have like a hacker slasher who's just like hanging out, having a great time with dogs. And that's like the theme of the movie, is the hacker slasher loves dogs and only kills people who abuse dogs. And so you're rooting for the slasher because like underneath you're like, he's a bad guy, but he's not bad guy, you know?
I think that's the route to go. And I honestly think you can incorporate the still shots in other ways. Like once you have a relationship with these people on chain, there's nothing to say you can't airdrop them other cool stuff. A personal message from your brother, thanking them. Still shots from the film in collectible.
Oh, that'd be great.
And I definitely think that it's the kind of thing Base would love to share, especially if you're using like based dApps. And I can easily see a frame that is like, click to hear a summary of the movie, click to support it, click to get your name in the credits, like all that in a simple box in a simple social post. And Machiste said, if it doesn't work out, I'll help build something. My rate is 1 feet pick per hour. Pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Might need to get a Manny.
I was talking to my brother and I was like, hey, if the total NFT collection set sells out, like maybe I have like this number be that, maybe it's like, I don't know, like $25,000 or $50,000. It'd be like, small amount. And if it keeps selling in secondary sales, we can have money come in. But I was like, I honestly have no idea how much could bring in. It could be $100. Maybe it's, 10,000 or something. Maybe it's 2,000. I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea. And Chris goes, my brother, he's like, if we can raise $5,000 even from NFTs, like, I will make it so that the main antagonist's head, when it explodes, is fully funded by that community. And I was like, they would love that. I was like, just to be able to watch the movie and be like, that was it. Just that was it right there. So that'd be fantastic. Or it'd be fun to like let the community like decide how the money gets like spent for certain scenes or like certain visual effects. That'd be kind of cool.
How are you going to accommodate the number of, because in my mind, if I was like, my goal was to raise money, I would probably make it an open edition and make it super cheap. Like, you know, mostly free to mint or like 0.001 ETH, get as many as you want. And the more you get, the higher up your name goes. But like, what if you raise, I don't know, $1 million from 10,000 people? How are you going to meaningfully accommodate 10,000 people in the credits of a film?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not something I thought about because I didn't expect it to be that successful, but it would just be like really long credits.
So long credits.
Yeah, just forever. Just at the end. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a problem that we would have to think. See, that's a problem of too much success, which would be a good problem to have. You know, so right now I'm not expecting 4-hour movies, 2.5 hours of credits. I know we'd have to think about it, or you know, I don't know. But how I was thinking is, I currently have 6 different pictures, images, AI generated images that I'm thinking about using for the NFTs, and it would be like really low barrier to entry, like hey, $5, $15 for one, $25 for another, $50, $75, and $100, right? And that'd be it. Like, you know, those would be the set prices for them, and you just, you know, you can buy as many as you like. I'm thinking about. I'm not sure if I want to have unlimited supply or capped supply, but
I would do at least one that has an unlimited supply. So it's like, hey, if you really want to help the film and can pay $25, this is meaningful. If you can't pay, but you just want to collect and be part of the story on chain, there are frames you can do this with. You could do this on Zora. I could help you do that, and it would be free for you, free for them, or very low price for them, but you would still get paid. Like Zach XBT released like a tweet thread on Zora to say like, hey, I exposed this hack. Here's the story of it. Support me. It's free for you. And he got like 385,000 mints or something, and it generated, I think, several ETH, like dozens of ETH in funding for him because of the way the platform does like gas distribution and fees. So
interesting. See, I need to dive into Zora because at first I was leaning towards doing OpenSea because it has the most volume there other than Magic Eden. But I see so much popping up about Zora. I have it on my to-do list also today, learn a little bit more about what makes Zora.
It's got more social attention. OpenSea is very much for like JPEG traders. Zora is much more for, first of all, for like base adjacent people who connect with the socials. It's like more like Instagram than it is like OpenSea, I feel like.
Yeah, I'll explore Zora because I see more marketing material for Zora popping up. So I'll explore Zora today. I'm going to explore the dform and holders.at for acknowledgement or capturing of NFT addresses for the movie fundraising, and then I actually have to I want to make the official NFT collection tonight or tomorrow because I would love to, because I'm planning on doing this all like base adjacent, base friendly. And then I want to go to Jiren, who, if you guys don't know, a friend of ours at Coinbase, be like, Jiren, help, help. It's cool, right?
Let me add one last resource to your list too, Will. Google Mad Realities if you haven't. Oh, look at that.
Ooh. Oh, from Josh.
Whoa, look at these cool sunglasses up in here. Oh, that's our friend Josh. Hey, glasses on my glasses.
Right on your nose.
Welcome, Josh. Thank you very much. If you need one more resource, it's Mad Realities. This was the most successful first draft of the on-chain reality TV show. It had been attempted before, but in like 2021, 2022, this company said, what if The Bachelor was on-chain? And what if people who bought NFTs at different price points were able to participate in different ways? It'd be a way to say like, for $5 you get this, for $25 you get this. If somebody gives $5,000 to the movie, there's no reason we shouldn't get them a Frontier flight to hang out at the premiere, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But they had just a really interesting incentive model that bridged the gap between like audience and producer in a fun, got a lot of attention, novel way. Mad Realities. And their show was called Proof of Love.
Ooh. Fitting.
Yikes.
What a good combo.
Show, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll look into that too, but I appreciate the help, guys. So I have Mad Realities written down for myself. Zora, I need to check out. I need to go through Deform and Holders AT. Also, Josh, I texted you in case you want to help to fund my brother's movie and be an executive producer. So check that out. I know you got it. But yeah, so I'll check out Mad Realities, Zora, Deform, Holders, AT. And is there anything else I need to do right now? No, I think that's it. But yeah, I'll be letting everybody know. Defund? What is this defund? But
no, it's D. He's asking about Deform. It's Deform, Josh. I just
yeah, just another tool to help me do NFT captures for people as I help my brother fundraise for his movie. And I was going to say something before that. What? Oh yeah, right. Just so you guys know, when I do make the NFT collection, I'll be making a video on my own. I'll talk a little bit more about my brother's movie, which is an award-winning live-action movie. There's real stuff in a website with actual real things being made. So trying to find a way to combine my brother's business and passion with my business and passion and kind of bringing our communities together, but also at the same time, like having an NFT collection specifically, which NFT collections for the most part are total shit and garbage and do nothing and provide nothing and are just absolute terrible, even more so than crypto, even more so than the majority of crypto. But then like tying an NFT set to like a real thing being made that's fun. And we also have our own fund to raise money for dog shelters, for retired canine units finding homes, for cat shelters too. Just like a lot of animal shelter, animal care stuff in Southern Florida. And we made that own fund. We'll be promoting it along with the movie. And I'll be helping my brother to promote his movie. And he's a director, screenplay writer, and actor. And actually, my brother will be on Netflix pretty soon. I think at the end of this year too on Netflix, where he's a villain. And there's actually he's like the lead henchman, and he gets killed by like the good guy. I forget the name of the show. I'll have to ask. And he has like a B-list celebrity, but and he'll be in Vegas again filming another villain role with a couple B-list celebrities also in Vegas that he's an executive producer on. So that'll be fun.
I have got to take my dog and pony show and get on the road. I'm so sorry to say so. Let's go around and give a final thought. My final thought, because I saw people talking about it in the comments and asking some questions, is I don't know, and I don't think anyone on our panel knows if the token you're asking about, Soul Bastard, is a confirmed rug or not. Different people have given us different reports, and we don't pay a ton of attention to it. I would simply say it is an inevitability that a domino like that will topple. It is a ticking time bomb.
It's a steaming pile of shit that behaved exactly like steaming piles of shit are wont to behave.
Yeah, I was live last night and people were like, "Oh shit, Soba's rugging," and I was like, "What?" It's just because like he's been so public. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I looked at the chart, and the chart didn't look like a rug. But then I saw people saying that like all of his socials are gone and stuff. And I haven't dived into it. And he said his TikTok got banned, and then his Twitter got hacked. And I'm like, this is a lot of things all happening at the same time. But you never know. It's possible. But I haven't dived into it all. Yeah, Josh, that's what I heard. I heard he got rid of his TikTok and his Twitter and all this other stuff. But I haven't looked into it at all. So, take that with a grain of salt. Rumor mill is abound, and I haven't done any verification. I haven't looked on Payne either. I haven't looked at his wallet address either.
This is an example of the kind of fallacy that we talked about in the bigger hill theory. If you are climbing the hill of one of these influencer-backed, only product is speculation tokens, then even if you get to the top of that hill, first of all, that hill is built on a tower of sand. It might sink at any second. And all of it is not up to you. You are trusting me, bro. There are other hills in our space and in many spaces where you don't have to even spend money to start climbing a hill to get to a higher vantage point. It will always serve you better to start climbing a bigger hill than to get to the top of a small one or one that might topple anytime.
Yeah, it's so the things that I don't know that much because he's had me blocked for a very long time, so I couldn't tell you.
Alex, this is a trend for you.
I know. Yeah, it's go figure. The standard order of operations is creator launches an illegal token. I'm like, hey, bud, you're breaking the law. Would you like me to connect you to an attorney? They ignore me, talk shit about me on live stream, and then block me. So, like, if that tells you anything about their method of operations being sus, there you go.
No, I just wanted to connect you to an attorney to help you. Okay. See you later. I was trying to help.
We should just have like a published list of everyone who's got me blocked, because it's the bastard, it's Sage, it's Coach Ty has me blocked. There's one or two other superfluous people, but the thing that I saw yesterday was actually Alex Costa tweeted and then subsequently deleted the tweet, like wishing Soba well as he throws in the towel, and then deleted the tweet. I don't know what that was about. And then allegedly this morning, the dude himself, I don't know what his name is, just call him shithead. He tweeted trying to get my account back, and but I mean, I couldn't tell you if I couldn't tell you if the TikTok is gone or if I'm just still blocked. So there's that. On the chart, it's hard to say rug because the thing was already in the toilet, but it definitely has a fat red candle. I could scroll back and see like what the transaction was that instigated it, but to put it in perspective, there's like pretty low volume, and then all of a sudden there's one candle yesterday that is almost $500,000 of volume, which resulted in standby an 82% decrease or an 82% drop. Has bounced back up, a smidge, but the thing is still, down 86% from its highs. So it's a piece of shit. I mean, this is why I complain about these things all the time. You're just buying someone's illegal grift to put money in their pocket. So either he made enough money and then left, or he was just tired of being in charge of a sinking ship. It's one or the other.
It's tough to say, but as more information comes in, we certainly can talk about it, and we'll continue to speak clearly and as helpfully as possible when there is a better story to be told.
I'll spend a little bit of time later today diving into it and trying to find some on-chain stuff for you guys too. I'll make a separate video on it. But I will be spending most of my time today trying to get this NFT collection for the movie kind of up and running, which would be cool. It's building something on, but I just feel like, because like I'm not an engineer, so it's just been like, all right, now this step, and I feel like I'm just gonna message Machiste and be like, Machiste, help me!
Okay, everybody, that's our time. We are here every Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, same place. You can find all of the links for our show at the links in our bios, at our only profiles, these profiles, the profiles that we will never send you messages from. If it's a message and it looks like us, it's not. It's a scam. Follow these profiles so you don't get scammed. And then hop in the Discord server. It is an always gonna be free general chat, great community to jump into, ask a question, share what you know, report a scam if you see one. The fastest way to accelerate your learning journey is to join a community. And we built this one to help you. As I say, it's totally free. You can find that link in our bios and at theriseupmorningshow.com, which is also where you can find details about our sponsorship for the week. We want to shout out Banana Gun. It won't cost you a darn thing to use our referral link, register for their product, and then get started using a Telegram trading bot. Simple, secure, super fast user interface that is going to, we believe, play a big part in trading for the next year, next 2 years. There are bots like this, like Bonk, like Photon, that give you more autonomy, keep you safe, especially in the meme coin casino. Alex, I need to see Bunches one more time before I go off for the day, because shout out Bunches. He's my guy. You got him? Where is he?
Bullish on Bunches.
Bullish on Bunches.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, also, Evan, do I have one final quick thing to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, one other thing available in the Discord is Doug, who we've had up on the show a few times. He does great charts. He shares his charts in the general chat. He booked time on my calendar and also with Evan's calendar. He's a premium subscriber, So he has access to book time on our calendars. I was on the phone with him for an hour and a half this morning. He was taking me through his whole background, kind of like what he's built through his life, what he's building now also. Because if you guys don't know, he made the 99-cent meme coin, Arizona Iced Tea.
I want to have him on to talk about it.
Yeah, and we need to have him on and talk about it because it's fascinating. And like he's building stuff. And also like not for the token to have utility, just like building stuff that's genuinely useful for the community and making a whole bunch of connections. So he took me through that. I gave my thoughts and opinions on it. We're going to keep talking about it more. But I mentioned this because with him being a premium member of the Discord, he's able to get time with myself, Evan, Alex, all three of us, just two of us, and get time on our calendar.
Well, yeah, and anybody could do that. But the premium members get it first. Like we try to offer as much as possible for free. But if you become a premium member, that's the value. Is like you get first access to the services we can't scale, and you get them at a discount. Just one coaching for a premium or premium plus member a month saves you more than the cost of membership. Memberships are between $9 and $19. You can try it. If you don't like it, get the heck out of there. But all those members, they support our ability to do everything at scale for free. The show, the newsletter, the YouTube, the Discord general chat. So please consider becoming a premium subscriber and helping us tell a better story. It's not going to end at a TikTok show. It'll probably be a Bravo show with all the drama we have in the crypto space one day, and we want to be here for that. So join us again tomorrow. We'll be back, and we can't wait to see you. The only thing missing is you, my friends. Until next time, stay safe, be well, and everybody, rise up.
Also blow us up so we can get bunches in Walmart.